This is Leveraging the Link with Ben DeCastro, your 10-minute podcast designed to maximize your impact on LinkedIn, growing your network and net worth. Whether you are B2B, B2C, or anywhere else in the grand scheme of business, it's time to go to the next level. It's time to start leveraging the link.
Recommendations and endorsements. Yes, folks, it's always better to give than to receive. And here I'm giving to you episode number 4, hot and fresh. Thank you to everybody who's tuned into the first 3 episodes. And my apologies for the bit of delay between episodes 3 and 4. If you're listening in real time as I've been releasing these, 2 big changes that have happened over the couple weeks that it's been. We've made some upgrades to the studio here that I recorded, and so that took a little bit of time. And also, my wife and I were placed with our full-time foster child. It's a great thing. This is just awesome. We're so excited. Obviously, that takes a lot of time. There's a lot of changes that happen with that, so that is really why the delay has been there. Of course, if you're listening to this and you're out of sequence or it's been a while, you really don't notice a difference, and that's fine as well. But I also want to thank everybody who's reached out and thanked me for the first 3 episodes so far. I had somebody come up and said, man, I should have been on LinkedIn years ago after listening to the first 3 episodes, especially the first one. So if you haven't had a chance to, please go back, listen to those episodes. There's a lot of great details, a lot of great information in there. And then, of course, this episode, we are talking about the role of recommendations on LinkedIn. And the recommendation is a major human element to this whole platform. The people reading these recommendations can be anybody from a prospective opportunity, whether it's someone or a company that wants to work with you or your company, or if somebody is looking to recruit you for a great opportunity. You know, LinkedIn was always thought of as the digital resume, and we know that it's much more than that now, but it still serves a very valid purpose if you are in the job market, if you're looking to make a change. So that's who's reading the recommendations. And if you're the person that's being looked at, you won't know until after you've been looked at. Do you follow what I'm saying there? You don't realize that people are looking at you until after they've looked at you, and sometimes you may not even see the specific person. You may see a company or an industry. It really all depends on the privacy settings of the person doing the looking. You know, a great comparison to this is Yelp and Facebook reviews. You know, before we go to a new restaurant, my wife will spend a lot of time on Yelp and Facebook reviews to see what other people have said about the place. Now, it could be for atmosphere reasons. You know, maybe we've had a long day. We don't want to go someplace that has loud music or high energy. Another reason could be overall cleanliness. But whatever the reason may be, the recommendation of a random stranger is what's shaping our decision on where to eat. Another great thing about Yelp is that restaurants who actively maintain their profile on Yelp, they keep their menu updated as well. So we practically know what we're going to have before we even step in the door. You know, that's, of course, barring some mouth-watering special we see listed on the board when we walk in. Likewise, your list of skills, you know, software and programs you're proficient with, areas of expertise, certificates you hold, courses you've taken, that's your menu. That is precisely why you need to make sure your profile is 100% up to date. You don't want to have that facepalm moment when you see somebody has been looking at your page, okay? And you're like, oh, shoot, I should have updated that. Just go with the assumption that people are looking at your page right now. That's why I suggest going through your profile, top to bottom, at least once a quarter. Some people do it annually, but I really think that too much can happen in a year, and you may forget about something that really should be listed. So a quarterly review, just throw it in your calendar. Trust me, it makes all the difference in the world. So now that we have our profile at 100%, I know I keep talking about that in every episode so far, but that is critical. Now that it's at 100%, it's time for us to do something for somebody else. And the first thing we're going to do is endorse them. So find the list of items on their profile that they've listed as strong points and endorse them on the skills that you know they know. You know, that's confusing, right? Just go through, and if you are proficient in social media and you know that person's proficient in social media, then endorse them on it. Please do not endorse them on things you don't know. This is honesty. This is authentic. We've got to do that when we're doing these recommendations, okay? So go through and check the items that you feel comfortable checking. Maybe you feel comfortable checking all of them. That's great. That's wonderful. But if you only feel comfortable doing 2 or 3 out of a list of 10 or 20, that is fine. That's okay. Once you've done the endorsements, now it's time to write the recommendation. Some of the best recommendations I've seen are 6 to 8 sentences long, 2 paragraphs max. Okay? It's still social media, folks. We've got to be brief here. And LinkedIn helps you be brief by putting in a qualifier question in place of how do you know this person? And it gives you a few options. Now you don't have to include that in your recommendation. You don't have to go into the history of how you guys met. And endorsing the person first means you get all the technical stuff out of the way. You can just write a brief statement about what it was like working with the person and how you feel they would do in certain situations, perhaps, or how you saw them handle a situation that impressed you. So the key to these recommendations is truth, authenticity, and brevity. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it true, keep it authentic. Finally, here's some etiquette when it comes to recommendations. Should probably play Vivaldi in the background here. Do not ask for recommendations. Okay, folks, I hate it when people ask me for a recommendation. It's bad form and poor taste. Do not write a recommendation for someone you don't truly know. It's hard to write authentic and truthful when you don't know the person. Please do not write a recommendation as a form of leverage to getting a meeting with a person so you can pitch them on a product or a service. Don't do that. Stop, don't. Just don't do that, okay? This is not some form of currency here. Like, hey, I gave you a recommendation. Now you give me 30 minutes of your time so I can pitch you on this. No, stop. Once you write the recommendation, move on. Just like, what's that show, that movie, the ice, Frozen? Let it go, let it go. See that? I even sang to you. Just move on, folks, okay? Don't ask the person you wrote it for if they saw it. Don't ask them if they liked it. Don't ask them if they're going to possibly write one for you now. Writing recommendations is not about you. It's about serving others. Trust the process. Trust the laws of good business practices. Some people, smart people, authentic people, will certainly write you a recommendation in return. But some people may not, and that's just simply because they don't understand the value of the tool called LinkedIn. Please don't be vindictive. If anything, just send them a link to this podcast. If you're looking to grow your network and your net worth, you can totally do so with kindness and civility. Set a goal of 1 to 2 recommendations a week. It will eventually come back to you full circle, and you'll start collecting your own recommendations. All right, folks, that's it for this episode. The next episode's topic is going to be on crafting great quality content. So we will talk to you then. Thanks so much for listening. Have an awesome day.
You've been listening to Leveraging the Link. Ben DeCastro is an award-winning social media influencer. Follow Ben on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, or at benjamindecastro.com. Be sure to click the subscribe button so you'll have the next podcast as soon as it's launched. Feel free to leave an honest rating of this podcast, and if so inclined, share it with colleagues, friends, even your boss. The theme song is City Lights by Collington. Find them on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever you listen to music.